everyone, I'm sorry I haven't stopped doing videos at 37 weeks, I think. I didn't really think anybody was watching them, and I was kind of focusing on giving birth. So, since some of you have asked, I did obviously give birth, because it's been 2 months now since I last posted a video, almost. So you'd hope I would have. I'll try and pick her up. Here she is. She is 3 weeks old, or 3.5 weeks old. You've just woken up, haven't you? She was 10 days late, so I obviously then as well, because I was expecting it to happen each day that I was late, I wasn't bothered about making videos, and it wasn't anywhere on my priority list. So this is going to be the video for my labour and delivery story. It's quite long, so if you're not up for a story, I would click away now. So not only was she 10 days late, but my labour was 45 hours long, and from the beginning, basically, I don't think I ever had Braxton Hicks. I never really had anything in the running up towards labour, apart from the loss of mucus plug maybe like 3 days before. So on the all these dates are like rolling into one, so I don't know whether I'll get this right. On the 13th of... was it the 13th? No. I don't know. Oh yeah, on the 13th, at about 11 PM, I started to get... it was like really bad period pains, and they were every 6 minutes, and that was the first sort of pain I had had this whole time for my whole pregnancy. So I timed them, and I decided to wait for another hour to see if they would go or anything, and they didn't. So at midnight I woke my mum up, and she drove me down to the hospital with my boyfriend. And in the beginning, well, for my whole pregnancy, my mum has always said she's just not going to be there in the room because it's the thing with me and my boyfriend, even though I really wanted her to be there. She always said she wouldn't. So we got there, and they were bearable at this point. They weren't too bad. I mean, they were bad at the time because I'm not used to it, but compared to what was to come, they weren't that bad. So they checked me, and I was 2 to 3 centimeters. I don't know if they do this everywhere, in every country or something, but they don't give you pain relief until you're 4 centimeters. So I was thinking, oh, it's not too bad, I'm 2 to 3. Shouldn't take too long to get to 4. So we were in a labour room, and we had the radio on, and I had gas and air because that's all they could give me at this time. So this went on for... time goes so quickly as well. Well, for me it did. I don't think it did for my boyfriend or my mum, but time went really quickly. I mean, 1 minute we arrived at like midnight, and then the next minute it was 8 in the morning. My contractions were still coming, but they were for 1 hour they would be every 6 minutes, and then the next hour they would be every 4, but then they would go back to every 6. So the midwives assumed that I wasn't in proper labour yet, even though I was convinced I was. So then we got taken down into a contracting room where they put women that are a bit slow with contractions and progress in one ward, and everyone in there was asleep, so I don't know what they were doing, but I really felt uncomfortable being there because they were starting to hurt a lot more by now, because this was 20 hours in, I think. So I was on the bouncy ball, which was the only thing that I could be on that made the pain less painful. Like sitting or lying down was really painful. So sitting on this ball and like slouching over the bed was the best position. So I felt really uncomfortable being on this ward because I was the only one that was making any noise, because I think I was the only one that was actually contracting on the contracting ward. So I felt uncomfortable being there, and then a doctor came down and asked, do you want to carry on with your labour for now at home and then come back when it's worse, or do you want to stay here? And I just thought, well, I've been here for 20 hours, this obviously isn't happening anytime soon, so let's just go home for a while. And I think this was 10 PM the next day, so this was like 22 hours in. Hi Nugget. So we drove home, and then, do you know what was weird? Is the second I said, no, let's go home, that's probably the best thing to do, and got up, as I was leaving the ward, I noticed they got so much worse, and I just thought, well, they've been doing this for like a day, they're just gonna calm down again soon, because obviously 1 hour they would be really bad, and then the next it would be not as bad. So I just thought, this is just doing its thing still. So I didn't really think much of it, and we were my mum had gone home for an hour at this point, so she was on her way home to pick us up again. And we were waiting in the waiting room of the maternity hospital downstairs, and I remember I was contracting, and because they were painful I was making noise, and there was this man sat there, and he was like, shouldn't you be on the labour ward? And I was like, no, it's fine, it's not going to be that bad in a minute. And then another woman asked me, shouldn't you be upstairs? And I was like, oh, it's fine, it's going to go away in a minute. So we went home, and then I remember sitting in the lounge downstairs, and they just got so bad that I was crying, but I was still, because it was so disheartening, because I got checked about 4 times in the hospital when I was there before, and each time I was 2 to 3 or just 3, and then I was stuck at 3 for the whole time. So I thought, I don't want to go back to hospital because I'm just going to be a 3 and it's going to be really annoying. But my mum insisted, and I'm so glad she did, because on that car journey over to the hospital, it was the worst pain I have ever felt. And I was screaming at my boyfriend to kill me, because honestly it was so bad that I thought I would really rather die. So after like a 45-minute drive, because although we wanted to get there quickly, driving too quickly made over bumps in the road really hurt. So 45-minute drive, we got there, it took us another 15 minutes to walk upstairs because I had to keep stopping because I thought I was going to collapse because the pain was so bad. So this was we were only at home for half an hour after leaving the hospital, so it was really kind of pointless. So we got there, and I was put in a little side room because the labour rooms were full because everyone decided to give birth that day. So we were put in a little side room, and then I got checked again, and I was just thinking, I'm going to cry my eyes out if I'm still a 3, because I was in so much pain, and they were just giving me like paracetamol. So they checked me, and I was a 5. So I was so happy, and I said, give me the epidural. And they said, we can't give you the epidural because you have to be in a labour room to get the epidural, which I don't know why, but you just have to. So I said, well, give me something. So I had an injection of diamorphine in my leg, which I've only just found out is like hospital heroin. So they gave me that, and that I was really surprised at how well that worked. Like, I thought it would just make you forget the pain, but honestly, it got rid of the pain down there, so for a couple of hours, so I managed to get some sleep, because this whole time none of us had slept. So I got 2 hours sleep, and I remember that making me feel like I was really drunk and stuff. And then I woke up and pain came back, and they were like, we've got a room ready for you now. So we went into the room, and the diamorphine had completely worn off, so I was like, epidural, epidural, epidural. So this man came in, and I was the last patient on his shift before he was about to go home in like 5 minutes. So he did an epidural, but he must have rushed it or something, because it didn't work. It just made my left leg numb. So I was just in hysterics by now, because this was like 30 hours in, I think, and the pain was just ridiculous, and it was and nothing was working, and so they said, well, you're going to have to wait 45 minutes until the next anaesthetist comes to work, which seemed like the worst thing in the world, but luckily I only had to wait 10 minutes because he came to work early. So he had to go at doing the epidural, and he had to recite it 8 times because couldn't get it in properly. And when that worked, it was honestly the best thing in the world. And then I slept for maybe 2 or 3 hours. I actually don't know. I don't remember that bit very much. But I was being sick, and then my and then my blood pressure went down to something like 90/60, and my temperature was up, so they thought I had some kind of infection or something, so I had to take blood as well. And then I don't know how much time went by, obviously, so it would be 42 hours in. They said, okay, you're 10 centimetres, we will start pushing now. So I tried pushing for 2 hours and nothing was happening, and I was just so fed up by this point. The midwife said she'd get the doctor, so the doctor came in and he said, usually we let you push for 3 hours, but if you want we can try forceps or ventouse if you think you need help. And I said, I do need help. I definitely do, because I couldn't feel any progress of a head coming out or anything. I know I was on the epidural, but they turned it down a little bit so that I could feel when I had a contraction. It just wasn't painful. So he went to get the ventouse and forceps and set up everything, and he said, well, I was going to do forceps first, but let's do ventouse, let's try that. So he did, and it took like 5 minutes to get her out, and apparently I didn't watch, but apparently they do it really hard, like really hard, and she came out and she had a big circle bruise on the top of her head, and yeah, it was apparently quite brutal. And I had to get an episiotomy as well, which after labour and all that, it got infected, and now I've got an open wound there which is slowly healing. So birth sucks. But the weirdest part is when she was born, and then they put, I mean, you've had 9 months to get yourself used to this idea of a person being here at the end of it, but it still doesn't prepare you for that. Even when you're in labour and that person is imminent, you still don't expect for this little person to be put on you afterwards, and it's really weird. So she was put on me, and I was just in shock, really. And obviously both of us cried and stuff. My mum wasn't there at this point. She unfortunately had gone home thinking nothing was going to happen and was going to be back in an hour, but in that hour she was born. So yeah, she is here, and she's really sweet, and she's a quite a well-behaved baby, apart from she doesn't like to be in a Moses basket. She has to sleep with us. And she is a little bit, she's good with breastfeeding because I am breastfeeding. It's just she's a little bit awkward with it because in the first couple of days breastfeeding is really, really painful. Like, it would make me cry when she would latch on because it hurts so much. I can see why people give up, like, when it's at that stage. Yeah, that hurt a lot, and so because of that we gave her a bottle when I wanted a break, when my nipples were hurting too much or if they were bleeding or something. We had to give her a bottle to give her a break, give me a break. And I think that has given her some nipple confusion because now, unless my boobs are really full and firm and stuff, she won't work for it. She just expects it to be put in her mouth and then to go. But she's called Mia. And she's a little chubber. She was 8 pounds. Oh. She was 8 pounds 4 when she was born. Chubby. And she frowns a lot. I think she got that from me. She's got my frown. Thank you. You're sleepy, huh? Yeah. I'll put you down. She was 8 pounds 4, and they're supposed to lose 10% of their birth weight in the first week, and then they start to regain it back. She didn't lose any, and now she's 3.5 weeks old. Now she's 10 pounds 13. So she is, I think, in the 95th centile. So she's a little chunk. But yeah, parenthood is definitely very demanding, but she smiled for the first time yesterday, and it's things like that that make it very rewarding. I'm sure there's loads of cool stuff to come. But yeah, I am getting a new camera for Christmas from my boyfriend, an SLR, just so that we can properly record her life rather than just with my iPhone like I am now. So I think I'll do monthly updates of her after I've got the camera, because it would just be nice to do. I did compile a little video of the different stages of how we got here, and there is some pictures of the first pictures of her when she was born in that video. So I might include this at the end of this video so you can see that, if the song's not copyrighted. If it's not here in a minute, then you know what happened. But I don't think it is copyrighted because it's a remix, but we'll see. But I just want to thank you for watching. I'm sorry I didn't update sooner. It's just I didn't think anybody was watching. But some of you that do watch, if you've had your babies, congratulations. And if you haven't, I'm sorry if I've scared you. I think I just literally had a really brutal labour. But it could have been worse. But it also could have been better. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye. I do have my gender scan in, what's the date? 9 days. I am in the bathroom. Right now. 10 minutes away from finding out if everything's okay. So, I'll keep you posted. I'm so excited. We did manage to find out what it is. I don't know if you can see. Oh, no, probably not. There isn't anything there. Let's go. Because I'm busy getting ready for my holiday, which I am
to get my 3D scan. 15 minutes to go. I'm so nervous and excited and more excited and more nervous.
When she was just a girl, she expected the world, but it flew away from her reach, and the bullets catching her teeth. Life goes on, it gets so heavy, the wheel breaks the butterfly, every tear a waterfall. In the night, the stormy night, she closed her eyes. In the night, the stormy night, away she flies.
I've
And
decided.
Just a bird,